I had rags around my feet, and in this temperature, my toes froze.
Oh my goodness.
And when I got to the hospital, the doctor came in to examine me. He unwrapped the rags, and he took off my big toe, and he was holding it like that. And I started to scream, and I saw the doctor's eyes. The tears ran down his cheeks, and he kept saying, little girl, you know, you're our daughter. You're the daughter of this hospital. Nothing bad could ever happen to a daughter of this hospital. You're going to be fine, sweetheart. Don't worry about it. I shouldn't worry, but my toes are gone. And I was young, and I figured, if I don't have any toes, how am I going to walk?
Hi, I'm Congresswoman Laura Gillen. I am here today at the home of Leah Goldberg, who is a Holocaust survivor who just turned 100. It's so important that we preserve and we hear the stories of the horrors that happened in the Holocaust so we can make sure that we are doing everything we can to end the stem of hate.
My name is Leah Goldberg, and I'm 100 years old.
Tell me again about how that happened, how your sister got sent to Germany and how you wound up in Russia.
So I was 12 and a half when my father sent me away with my uncle. My uncle was leaving my hometown. My father told his brother not to be in the house because they're coming into the cities. We all went into the cellar. Being in the cellar, you could hear the footsteps of the soldiers running in and around in the house. The next morning, my uncle opened the lid from the cellar, and that's all he saw is sand, as far as you can see in any direction.
So the Germans came and burned the whole town down.
They were all burned in their sleep. So at that point, he decided to leave. I constantly wondered, how in the world can these people live with themselves? So I wound up in Siberia, Russia. So my sister remained at home. When she cried, why are you sending me to the enemy? So he says, I'm sending you because when I die, I'll know that I'm leaving 2 children in this world. That was my father's wish, to save 2 children.
I understand this candlestick was your mother's and
Yes.
this was your father's?
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about these items and how you kept them?
When the war broke out, he buried the things that mattered to him and worthy of saving. I had another one, the candlestick. I gave one to my sister, and I kept one.
Why is it so important for people in Congress, in leadership positions, to fight back against hate and anti-Semitism?
Well, because they should look back from the past, because we don't want something like that to repeat itself any place in the world.
In Congress, we're making sure that we're sharing stories like yours to try to prevent this from ever happening again. called the HEAL Act. It's Holocaust Education and Anti-Semitism Lessons. And it's to get a study done to show how we can make sure people know stories like yours. Why do you think it's so important for people to hear your story and the stories of other folks who lived through the Holocaust?
I personally think that it's important that people should know to see the light and the distance and recognize it and not fall for it again. It should, God forbid, happen again. And I'm not just talking about Jewish people. Mm-hmm. Hatred is not measured by a yardstick. Let's put it this way. I am a miracle of miracles. My children and my grandchildren are my best joy. Continue seeing good things from my children.
What would you say to somebody who said that the Holocaust never happened?
So I said, this is just the same as I would say, you were never born.